Mr. Nirurkar, Mrs. Nirurkar, Mr. Narendran, Mrs. Narendran, Mr. Kaushik Chatterjee, Mr. Anand Sen, Mrs. Sen, senior management team of Tata Steel accompanied with spouse, senior officers of Tata Steel also accompanied with spouse, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, let me accord you, each and every one of you, a very warm welcome. And what better venue than this, the shrine of sporting excellence. We all know why we have all assembled here this evening, and I'll come to that in a bit. But what I need to remind you about is that today is the 1st of November, and today begins a new chapter in Tata Steel's history. And in our midst, we have perhaps one of the youngest managing directors in corporate India in Mr. T.V. Narendran. And it's only fair and befitting that we felicitate him, Mrs. Narendran and the family, and wish them all luck and happiness and prosperity, not only for the company, but for themselves in the years ahead. So ladies and gentlemen, in our customary fashion, let's put our hands together for this couple. By nature, I'm pretty much a shy person. Certainly shy enough to be here on center stage in front of a large gathering on a big occasion like this. But I got bullied into this assignment by Mr. Sunil Bhaskaran. I'm not even in the MD office, so I couldn't even say no. But lo and behold, I stand here before you, and should I err, do forgive me. And for the benefit of those of you who do not know me, I'm Farzan Hirji, and for the good or the bad, I'm your MC for this evening's function. Mr. Nirurkar, Mrs. Nirurkar, this evening is dedicated to you. It comes with a lot of warmth. We embrace you, we as in all of us assembled here, and many from the Tata Steel family who have not been able to make it for this occasion. We embrace you with lots of our love and affection, and we wish you all the very best in the years ahead. Thank you for touching the lives of so many people during the several years that you have spent in this company, several decades I should say. And as the years move on, and as you look back, and when you reflect on this evening, we do hope that you'll remember and cherish this evening as perhaps one of your best, just as much as we've enjoyed putting this together for you. So welcome Mr. and Mrs. Nirurkar, and welcome each and every one of you once again. The function this evening is pretty much brief. We have special artists who've come down from Bombay for this occasion. Yes, we have a couple of speeches. We have presentation of mementos. And we have, well, if I can call it that, we've made a film. And thereafter, it's an evening of camaraderie and bonhomie and the rest of it. So we'll begin with this evening's first item, and this is a performance by Rees from Bombay, He is one of the young prodigies and has performed on the saxophone the world over. Reese, this floor is yours. You know, I have had this rare privilege, distinction and honor to have worked very closely with Mr. Nirurkar. And one's often been asked this question, what is that one quality, if I may use that term, that he has that shines above everything else in his personality? We all know he's an ever-smiling face, he's easily approachable, he's a big-hearted person, he doesn't nitpick on small things. All these are a given. But if there's that one quality, and I can put my hand on my heart and say that, it's his balance of temperament. I have never, ever seen Mr. Nirurkar in extremes of mood. I have never seen him lose his balance of mind, no matter what the occasion. It could be a very joyful time of the day. He didn't go beyond the point of balance. And on the flip side, it could have been stressful, but he held his own. That, ladies and gentlemen, is an extremely rare quality and something I'm sure all CEOs earn for. I'm sorry, sir, I'm embarrassing you here, but on an occasion such as this, I thought it only fair that I were to mention these qualities about you. We have as I said, we've put not a film, but we call it an AV of his journey in Tata Steel. And we're going to show that now. Can we have the film, please?
The shoes.
For you. But let me tell you this, and with all sincerity, that had it not been for all the support, the love and encouragement from his better half, Mrs. Surekha Nirurkar, all this would not have been possible. So, welcome to the party this evening, ma'am. It's now my time to embarrass you a bit. I know of colleagues who have mentioned, saying that, you know, when Mrs. Nirurkar were to give you a call in the office, she would first ask if you're free, can she disturb you? And there are others who have mentioned that if you were to attend a meeting where Mrs. Nirurkar is present and has called for this meeting, when the meeting is over, she would walk you right up to the door. Mrs. Nirurkar, these qualities are very rare, and thank you very much for your indulgence in social activities in Tata Steel. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll move on with the other items this evening. May I now request Mr. and Mrs. Narendran to accompany Mr. and Mrs. Nirurkar onto the main stage, please. We will now begin with the presentation ceremony. We have in Tata Steel, in our sports fraternity, 3 icons, 3 jewels, if I could call it that. And may I now invite Purnima Mato on stage, and may I request Mrs. Narendran to hand over a memento to Mrs. Nerurkar. Purnima Mato, please. Thank you, Mrs. Narendran, thank you, Mrs. Nerurkar, and thank you, Purnima. May I now invite Mr. Bagicha Singh to come on stage, please. And may I request Mr. Narendran to hand over the salver and the album of memories to Mr. Nerurkar. Thank you, Bagicha. The third presentation, for its sheer weight, would have been a test of strength for Mr. Narendran to do it. May I therefore request Mr. Kaushik Chatterjee to please come on stage and join Mr. Narendran in presenting the crystal to Mr. Nerurkar. And may I invite the legendary Charles Bromeo to please come on stage. Thank you, Mr. Chatterjee. Thank you, Charles. May I now request Mr. and Mrs. Narendran to accompany Mr. and Mrs. Nerurkar off stage, please. The well-known Vivian Pocha, who needs no introduction, to play a special tribute to Mr. Nerurkar on this occasion. Ladies and gentlemen, Vivian Pocha. I am getting choked now. Ladies and gentlemen, have a splendid evening. Thank you.